Alright, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another edition of the Yooper Farmer Cigar Deck Talks. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. This video almost didn't happen. A lot was going against it. I was just going to take a break, but I kind of like this routine of getting at least one done a week. So here we are, and it's going to be a fun one. What am I smoking tonight? We have the ever fun COA. It was a consignment soldier, conscripted soldier. Darker Rabbit's actually one of the beer pairing ones I got for Father's Day. Not bad. Dark, heavy. I'm enjoying it though. And for the drink, we have Sweet Baby Jesus, a chocolate peanut butter porter. Yes, I bought it solely on the name. It was a little more expensive than beer I normally get, but if you give your beer a fun name and you also make it a darker beer, by golly, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to give it a whirl. Let's give it a try. Let's see how... Oops, yeah, it's getting some good head there. Darker. I guess there's going to be some coffee flavor in there. Alright, kind of a small head on this, on that stout there. Not bad. Let's give her a try. Getting the chocolate, not as much peanut butter. Definitely a little bit of chocolate there though. Not bad, not bad. Definitely drink it. It's tasting alright. So tonight, we're going to continue on the EMS war stories. This one actually has two stories for one. We're calling this one, Compared to You, I'm Doing Alright. So this starts off when I was actually quite young. I was just getting into EMS, learning the ropes, taking the classes, just kind of traveling around a little bit. And I'm in my travels, I met this guy who's kind of one of those just kind of happy-go-lucky, go with the wind, very Hakuna Matata. Nothing really worried him. He was very open to everything and everyone. Kind of a fun person to be around, you know. So anyway, we're sitting by a bonfire, just having a talking. I don't think I was drinking at that point. I think I was too young to be drinking. And we kind of started talking about, I believe drugs actually came up. And I was kind of asked, they're talking about experiences they had or people they knew who had done drugs. I said, well, I actually have an acquaintance who got this kind of crazy story. So woke up one day, went to his job at one of the fast food restaurants, and as he walked in his uniform, the manager's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm coming to work." He said, "Okay, first off, you haven't worked here in 3 years. You were fired 3 years ago." Totally taken by shock. He's like, No, I work here today." He's like, "No, last we knew you worked at a grocery store." Went to the grocery store. Sure enough, he'd actually missed a shift or two. He had no memory, though. Didn't even know what department he worked, what he was supposed to be doing. Totally confused. Well, it turned out he lost 3 years of his life because he had done so many hardcore drugs that it had basically fried his memories for 3 years. He'd done a lot of drugs. It turns out he had left his longtime girlfriend, potentially fiance. He had done a lot of shall we say, seedy or other than ethical activities. He actually ran a police report on himself, found out he'd been arrested a handful of times, had a warrant or two out for his arrest even. Talked to friends and family, and got stories of how nasty it had actually become to them in those last 3 years. He had no memory of it, zero. The drugs actually completely fried his brain. He did hook up with me actually after that time, and he started asking me questions, and he's like, I do remember, I think you were nice to me during these last 3 years. And I told him I was. I'd give him a ride every now and then, buy him a meal when I saw him, but he was definitely strung out on drugs, the hardcore ones, for at least 3 years, and it totally fried his brain. So I shared this story kind of hoping to get the whole, oh my God, I can't believe you actually know someone like this. And the guy who is kind of the free-loving, happy, go easy guy looks at me and says, "Those are the best friends to have right there." And really? Because I was always scared he was going to track me down and steal from me, or, God knows what, you didn't know what he was going to do one moment to the next. I don't really think they are good friends. He said, no, that's a friend you want to keep around. I said, okay, I'll bite. Why? He says, because even if you're at your lowest, you know what, your girlfriend's left you, lost your job, you stubbed your big toe, you woke up and you're sick, you can call him up, hear what's going on in his life, and say, you know what, compared to you, I'm doing all right. Things could be a lot worse. Losing 3 years of your life, being heavily addicted to drugs, being in a lot of legal trouble, compared to you, I'm doing all right. I bring this up because, one, it's a philosophy I've kind of lived up to and kind of thought about. Even when stuff is extremely rough, I hate doing the whole woe is me. Things could always be rougher. Sometimes it could be perception. Larry the Cable Guy does a great little bit about his cousin who's got a bunch of moles, and she goes to a flea market, and there's a guy with no legs selling shoes, and he's trying to explain to him, how you should be happy. At least you have 2 good legs. And they walk by the guy without legs who's selling shoes, says, oh my God, did you see the moles on that one? So it's perspective, but it's, again, a mentality I try to stick with. It could be worse. Compared to you, I'm doing all right. Well, so I got to use this mantra on one of my partners. I had a partner on the rig. On his 50th birthday, we were actually working. He actually, after shift, was going to go to his 50th birthday party. And wouldn't you know it, we get a late call, of course, because we have plans. Whenever you have a plan in EMS for after shift, you always get that late call. It was for a man down. This man down, turned out he had just turned 50, and my partner actually knew him. And he was in cardiac arrest. And we were able to bring him back for about 10 seconds before he done died and it done stuck. So that's unfortunate. My partner, of course, was just kind of in a state of shock. Like, he couldn't believe that here was this person his age that he knew just died. Really put him in this sense of, oh my gosh, what? This could have been me. I could have died. So it kind of really soured his birthday. I felt really bad. I did go to his birthday party. Dealing with death in general, everyone has their own way of dealing with it. But having something hit like that hit so close to home, basically he was looking at himself on the EMS cot, is what he told me. I said, wow, it's bad timing, unfortunate, but it'll get better. Fast forward a year. On his 51st birthday, we had another code with an individual who was somewhere between the age of 48 and 52-ish. I tell the story, I exaggerate and say we had someone who was 51 who coded on his birthday again. And he got, again, really depressed, really dark, and just, oh my gosh, I'm on borrowed time, look at these people, some were healthier than him. In his mind, in my mind, no, they weren't healthier than you. They had their time coming. They were paying for what they did. What's the saying go? Their body was used too much when it was younger, when it was new. And he was just really getting depressed. He's like, my days are numbered. He's like, I told him, I said, you'd think you'd be kind of excited to have these calls. He's like, why? Why is that? I said, well, think about it. Because even when you wake up in the morning and your back hurts, your stomach's upset, you got a headache, you're tired, you can remember these last 2 patients who died on your birthday and say, you know what, compared to them, I'm doing all right. At least you're 6 feet above the ground and 6 feet under. You have your health, you're still alive, you still have time to do all those things you wanted to do in life. So be happy. It could be worse. I did chipper him up. It made him a lot happier, and he kind of got a little extra pep in his step. Of course, fast forward a year. Kid you not, 3 years in a row, we coded another person on his birthday who was in their 50s. He still tried, compared to them, though, I'm doing all right. I'm like, yeah, that's right. So, anyway, it's just remember, things can be rough, things can be tough, can go downhill, can be just hard in life. But compared to what it could be, compared to someone else, you're doing all right. It's kind of one of these uplifting videos, I suppose, but just tell yourself that. You know what? I'm not in a wheelchair. If you are in a wheelchair, well, at least your brain's functional, or you have loved ones around you, or whatever it might be. Compared to the alternative, you're doing all right. It could be a lot worse. Thank God it isn't. Anyway, I'll leave this one here. I hope everyone stays safe out there. Hope everyone's doing all right, and hope you're able to, if you are on rough times or tough times, just remember, compared to someone else, you're doing all right. Could get worse, so be thankful that it isn't. And yeah, hope everyone stays safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.